Hey, how you doing? This is the Cool Breeze Show with the homie Cool Breeze. And today I have Ola with me. Hello, Ola.
Hi.
All right, do you want to tell the people what you do?
Hi, my name is Ajai Oladeji. I am a healer. I am a death doula. I am a medium. I'm a spiritual coach. And I'm actually taking classes now to do postpartum for birthing doulas. I used to be a surrogate mom. I had twins 5 years ago for a couple who couldn't have kids, and I dealt
What?
with some postpartum, and so now I want to tap into the postpartum for surrogate mothers.
Okay. See, you didn't tell me all
I could tell
that.
you.
You left out information.
Yes, they'll be 6 years old in February.
What?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with your upbringing, because that has a lot to do with the story
Yes.
altogether.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I am originally from New York, Brooklyn. I grew up in a polygamy family. My dad was a high priestess, and then I have 5 moms, and I think it's about 12 to 13 siblings together. We were all initiated into different African traditional, y'all say religion, but we say life. So Ifa, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, all of the different ones so that we can all help each other as we get older.
Mm.
So,
And those are, like you said specifically, those are different traditional priesthoods, right?
yeah, well, traditional, I guess religion you want to call them, but they come from different, it still comes out of Africa, but just different. It's like everybody went a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it depends on what region you're in. And so my father was a Babalawo, Oba, and he was actually one of the highest in New York because he had got initiated into each different ones for each kid when we did, when we were being conceived. It was like, yo, this kid is going to go into this. So you got to do the work so this kid can do this. And so same thing with our mothers.
All right. The next thing I want to ask you is your naming process. That's probably the coolest part that I asked. That of all the things that you told me was the actually naming process. Like
Right.
that, don't start off with a name out the hospital.
No, you do not start off with the name because the child has to go through a naming ceremony. So imagine leaving the hospital and telling them, because they expect you to sign the birth certificate. They actually was going to call defects on my mom because she would not name me. So they thought that my dad was like a cold and maybe she was being influenced. Like, no, we are not. She's going to leave the hospital. So you either be named like one of the days of the weeks or you'll name, baby Craig. And then you go through 7 days and then on the 7th day, you go through a naming ceremony, which normally doesn't take very long, but mine took 8 hours because my name is actually a male name in Africa. And so my dad and them was like, wait, but she's a girl. And they was like, yeah, we know she's a girl, but like, she's a girl, definitely, but she's like a warrior, like she will take a whole army down, and you would think it was they was saying like, there would be stories that I would take a whole village down, an army down, and they'll be thinking it's a male doing it, because they think that that's only male can be that strong. And then when they see you, like, oh shit, it's a girl. So he tried to compromise with my name, and they were like, no, it's Ajai Oladeji. And so our government last name is Craig, which is the slave last name, but our African last name is Akaway.
Oh,
So,
okay. Now, we talked about a number of things. Okay, first off, we're in the, can I call this the spirit room?
The spiritual room.
All
Yes.
right, the spiritual room. The spiritual room has this wonderful, elegant vibe. I love it. It's like, I don't know. It's like stepping out of reality for a second. It's just stepping into grace, stepping into the presence of your ancestors or someone else's ancestors.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk about this a little bit?
Yes, we can. So, I have my spirit guide tables there, and the story is that you're born with 7 or 9 spirit guides before you make it to the earth, where they made an agreement with God that they were going to, to guide you. And sometimes there are spirit animals, sometimes there are people who once was here years ago and came back and was like, hey, I'm going to be your spirit guide. So those are my spirit guides with all the water. So each glass of water represents each spirit guide. And then the big one there represents me. And then that little soldier, I picked him up almost 7 years ago at a military base. His name is Marcus. And so he thinks he's my boyfriend. So I put the soldier up there to represent him, to let him know that I'm good. He kind of protects me. So he's a chillin'. He's a good one. And so then I have another one that has some blue bees in there. I call her my tia. She has like these long little nails, and she smokes this little skinny cigarette, and that's her apron right there. And that's where I think I get my herbs and stuff from. She's like in the kitchen and moving and going. So that's where I do a lot of my work. If I'm doing any work for clients, if I'm doing work just for myself or whatever, or meditating, or I'm doing readings, a lot of times I'll sit right in front of it, or if I'm doing readings, I'll have my back so that I can kind of hear them in my back. So, and then back here is my ancestry table, and those are all my family members. And so they get the same love that my spirit guides give, and, everybody in my family that came before me and still works with me. I can still hear them. They're not gone. And then this is my mother's table. She's not on that table because my mom is a diva. And so she always said that she wanted her own table. She did not want to be on the table with everybody else. So that is my mom's table with her Indian doll and everything that she said she wanted on her table when she passed. And then that's Bev's ancestry table. And then I have a shrine at the door.
I didn't even see that.
No, you didn't. Yeah. So that is my Elegba and Ogun. And so Elegba is the road keeper. And so he kind of like guards everything or opens the road. So before you come into the door, anything that's not meant for our family in here pretty much won't ever come through. I've had it where people will just stop at the door and be like, no, I'm good. So that's where I give when I need some money going on, when I need some things going on, I go to him and I do different things. So I have shrines everywhere. I have another one for Oshun because I am a child of Oshun. So I have one in the living room for her, and so just kind of everywhere.
I like it. It's actually studying religions in college allowed me to like understand a lot of different cultures, a lot of different religions. So it's like when I see it, it's like, oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I looked that up and I studied it. And we talked about it in class and some of the different things, but to see it in real life, it's like, it's like, okay.
And a lot of colleges now are studying because I'm now at Mercer finishing up my psychology degree, and I will be graduating with a minor in women and women genders. And so one of the classes talked about religion and particularly to African women and African religion, and how now everybody is trying really how to understand that this is how it used to be a long time ago, and it's like going back to your roots, going back to your blood to understand how you are, what you're supposed to be.
Right. I think the biggest thing about our society is that we've been taught one specific thing as far as spiritual guidance is concerned. Whereas to religion, we think we're only supposed to pray to God. Jesus is the only way. We think that we think all kinds of things that about religion that may or may not be true. We'll find out. But with that said, we don't know about the things that were going on when we were before we were colonized, before someone else literally forced us to take these religions. Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, they all had to deal with it.
Yes.
You feel me? So it's like it's a great feeling to be a part of or not even being a part, but learning about the different sects of spiritualities
Absolutely.
or sections of spirituality.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And I think that for me, me and my teacher was having this conversation, my professor, spirituality and religion is two separate things, but they try to make it the same, but it's different for me because I'm not religion. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. Like
Right.
I am so, and I connect to the things like nature and spirit and energy and all that. Yes, I've studied the Bible, I read the Bible. Even there's times where I'm doing readings, I'll reference out of the Bible, but that is not my go-to straight down, when it
Right.
gets nitty gritty, if you want to call it. Yeah. So.
And that's perfect. Now, this is a Afrocentric house.
Yes.
So there is a picture of Frederick Douglass right
Yes.
there. Salute to the guy. You feel me?
So, it is Afro, and we do our own art in here too.
Oh, yeah.
The kids and Deb all make it more where I have their art everywhere around the house. They're allowed to paint on the walls and everything else. So
that is perfect.
art is for my middle child. She is very, she kind of everywhere, and she has the gift of reading and stuff, and so art is the way that she is able to meditate and tap in, and she's a phenomenal, like if you go in her room you'll see all her paintings. She's a good artist. Didn't even know she had the ability. Didn't know until a couple of years ago, and I was like, wow. Yeah.
See, now that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, oh, you have a superpower.
Yeah.
All right. What are some of the different things that your clients can come to you for?
So they can come to me. Like I said, I do readings. I do bone readings. I do tarot cards. I do water gazing readings. And then, like I said, I am a medium. So a lot of times I don't have to use all of those. I tend to use them because when I am doing a lot of readings and listening to spirit, I try not to use less of my energy and more of the energy of my cards or my bones or even coins or shells. So they come to me with that, and then once we get the reading done, then I also do a spiritual like a life coach class. And so I don't like just giving the readings and kind of like, here you go, this is it, and then they kind of go, good luck in the world,
All right.
like I want the purpose of giving the readings to them, and the purpose for their ancestors coming to me is because they want that child, whoever that child is, to be better. And so the readings is just making them aware of, look, hey, your grandfather, your aunt, your mom, your child, even your dog that passed away is coming through and wants something better for you. And a lot of people don't know how to change to get better. And a lot of times when they come to me, it's because they really want something better and they just don't know how to do it. So that's where they would get the reading, and then we will do like 6 weeks of coaching, and I will do Reiki on them. We will do exercises like painting sometimes. We will do go out. Sometimes I'll make them sit out here in garden where they'll start a plant. And the purpose of having that plant is to nurture that plant, because they have to learn to nurture themselves. So they have to work on those things. So it's therapy, but it's not the traditional therapy. It's the therapy to go back into spirit, to go back into nature, to find who you are without all the other stuff around you. Just kind of going inside of you and learning to listen to that the spirit. My company's name is Finding Your Ashe. Ashe is the African proverb, which is all things that are living that God given the power or your magic to. So the purpose of people coming to us is to find, or coming to me, is to find their Ashe, the power inside of them, so that they can live a better life. Like, life has gotten really hard. More people are dealing with mental illness and depression and all, suicide and things like that. And it's like half of the time they're thinking they're hearing voices, and then probably not bipolar or schizophrenic. It may be their spirit guides yelling at them to tell them to get their self together, or their ancestors, and they just are not sure if that's or what that is, because it was told to them that that's not possible,
Right.
So that's where we come in, and I come in and we just try to make them better. That's the goal. Try to make them a better person.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I actually was talking about was the fact that you deal a lot with people who have to deal with death.
Mm-hmm.
Death is, would you agree, it's one of the most, I guess, extreme traumas?
It is.
Where it hits people the hardest?
It does. I was telling somebody when my mother passed away, it was totally unexpected, didn't even know. And I remember getting that call, and I remember realizing that she was gone. And I remember feeling like my blood was going one way, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and kind of like I felt really like off guard, off center. Nothing in my body was flowing the way it was supposed to flow. My chakras shut down, everything. So death can be very traumatic. And so the purpose of a death doula is to get that family ready so that the grieving, because you're still going to have grieving, like
Right.
you're definitely going to have grieving, but to allow the grieving process to be healthy for the loved ones and for the person that is passing. Because if the person is not okay with the passing, or they die in a traumatic event, just think about when you do something. When you mess up, you're like, oh, shoot, dang it. I can't believe that happened. Oh, my God, I can't believe that happened. Oh, my God, I can't believe that happened. And then you're thinking a way to fix it or go back and fix it. Well, when we die, it's the same thing. The only thing we're leaving behind is our physical body. But the way we think and our spirit is still the same. So when somebody is dying from a traumatic or it's just a surprise, they're still going through that, oh my God, I can't believe I'm dead. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm dead. Oh my God. So that's where I come in and I kind of clear the space out for that person so they can say, yes, you have passed. And yes, let's try to get you to move on to the next life. And then for the family, yes, they have passed. Let's get them moved on. Let me help you get moved on to your next life without this person, or with this person not in this physical world, because they're still there, because energy can never be destroyed or create, you can never destroy energy. It can never be recreated. It's just energy. And so we're just kind of pew, and we're gone. We're energy moving about. And so you still feel that person. You still feel the person. You're like, what is that? Or you start smelling that loved one sometimes, and you're like, oh, okay, they're there. So being a death doula is helping the family learn how to deal with the death, and get them prepared for the funeral arrangement, and also teaching people that you don't have to have the traditional funeral like a lot of people want you to have it in the church or at a cemetery. You can have your funeral at home if you want to. You can pass away in your home if you want to. If you own your property, you can bury yourself, and your family can bury you in the back of your backyard. So trying to get people to understand death, because what I do realize is that Black and brown people don't like talking about death.
Mm-mm.
We don't like talking about death, but it has to come. It's the order of life. It has to come. So trying to get ready for it is the best way to deal with it, so.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what. How do you ask another question after that statement? No, really, that's actually powerful. I remember when my grandfather died, it was like, what? But also, one of the biggest things one of the first things that you actually brought up was the fact that when you have a traumatic experience, you automatically start thinking, oh my gosh, this person just died. Mm-hmm. Can you speak on how a lot of times what you have to help people get through is just the way that they think, to get them to change the way that they think?
Right. And it's not changing the way that they think, it's allowing, because you don't want to change anybody's emotional process.
Right.
That you can't rob somebody from their emotional process. So allowing them to work through the way they think so that you can get to the next stage to help them heal, because you're going to grieve no matter what. Sometimes I still grieve for my mom. It just depends, You're definitely going to grieve, but it's how are we going to move forward past the grieving process? And so a lot of times, at least for me, when I realize when a person dies, they take that part of your identity away from you. Like, I was once her child, or so who child am I? Or I was once such and such grandchild, but now I'm nobody's grandchild. Or I was once this child's mother, now I'm nobody's mother. So it's the whole taking away the identity of self. And so you have to kind of now find a new self or a new identity for you,
Right.
So it's not it's just allowing them to grieve healthy, and giving them the process, the time to let it, subside, because all deaths are hard regardless. It doesn't matter how, even if it's from a parent that you didn't have a connection, you're still going to grieve that parent, because in your mind is, oh, they're still around, I guess I can talk to them, whatever, or I'm still mad. And then, they're gone, and it's like you'll never be able to have that conversation with them anymore.
You wish you wasn't still mad,
Exactly. So, it doesn't matter who it is. All death, I think, period, it's just hard to deal with.
Right. Yeah. Death is, like I said, I think it's one of the most extreme traumas. Now, some of the other things that you are able to, connect with the spirits with is you can do like love potions.
I can, but I do not do love potions.
Boo.
I don't believe in love potions.
What you mean? I'm trying to have the whole world sprout.
No, I don't believe in love potions, because I am a strong cheerleader of free will. I need somebody to freely love me or you, because that's in their heart to do. Not because I tied some string around you and made you a puppet to love me.
I don't want to make you a puppet. I just want you to love me forever.
No. And you have to watch out.
Oh, yeah, I heard, yeah.
You have to watch out, because if you have the ability to, which we all do, have the ability, and we call it juju, to do the juju work, and it's to do harm to somebody else, or to trap somebody, or to take somebody's free will, that comes back around 10 times more. It may not hit you, but it could hit your children's children, which is called a generational curse. Get that?
Uh-oh.
So
that wasn't what I wanted.
You don't want to do the love
I don't
potion.
Want no smoke.
You want people to love you freely, right?
Yeah.
Like, because then what happens is, love is so funny, because you may love them tomorrow, but you may not love them as much from a year. And now you're like, oh my God, I can't get rid of them. Now they're just crazy, and they don't know what's wrong with them, because you done went this love potion.
Oh. My bad.
So no, we will not be doing. You will not get a love potion from me. Not at all. Not at all. I am very honest, truthful, and blunt with my readings. I try to make sure I'm not too harsh on the words. But if you're coming to me and you're looking for a coddle and baby, I'm gonna give it to you like it is, because I don't work for you. I work for spirit. So I have to be my whole truth. I have to tell the whole truth.
No, I think that's good, because it allows people to understand that, like, when you go hard, it's not because something personal. It's all due to what you're putting out. What the I want to say the energy you're giving, but not the energy, but the
karma.
Yeah, the karma that you putting out. That's what you're going to end up getting back. It don't matter whichever way you do it. If you do good, good will come to you. If you do bad, bad will come to you.
And so that is why, and even my grandmothers and my mothers are always, my mother used to say, you want to deal with your karma now, not the afterlife, because you still got to deal with it regardless. So you want to deal with it now. So whatever you put in, if you know it's not any good, that you put out, don't put it out, because it is going to come back to you. So I will not lie, steal, cheat. There's times where I've given somebody a reading and it's just blocked, and I say, look, something is blocking me from me reading you. I'm giving you all your money back, because I'm not able to read you. There's times where I get readings and my dad is like on guard, and people are like, I can't read you. I went to a palm reader one time because I wanted to see what she could do. Just kind of, let me check this out. And she freaked out, and she was like, I can't read you. I'm sorry. And she was like, "Hun, give your money. I don't come back. Please don't come back. I can't read you." And I was like, okay, well, there you go. So, it just, you want to be honest. And so that's the thing, like, this is my life. My children my children are born to this. Their children will be born to this. My nieces, my nephews, my cousins, my sisters, my brothers. So I have a responsibility, and I feel like God gave me this gift to be responsible for it. And so I will not taint it. I will not, cut corners for anybody for $1. I will not. That's just not, I won't. And I'm not going to lie to you because it makes you feel better.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's actually perfect. That's really it. That's really it.